Hello everyone, this is HammerTron here with a new action figure review for you. This time I am reviewing the DC Multiverse Batman Blackest Night. This is owned by Warner Brothers, but the action figure is made by McFarlane Toys. And this Batman action figure is based on the Batman from the storyline Blackest Night, where he's some sort of space zombie. So here, this came out in 2022. I did not see this in the store, so I ordered it online, and I got this around the middle of 2022. And here it is in a very nice window package where we can see the action figure and build-a-figure pieces. This is the first out of 4 action figures where we can build Atrocitus. So looks very nice with the window packaging. Here is the top. More windows to let in more light so we can see what it is. There's the bottom with some manufacturing information. Here is one side, Batman Blackest Night. Here is the other side. Actually, it says Batman. The window wraps around. Here is the back of the package. It shows a cross cell showing the other action figures in this wave to build Atrocitus, and this is how it goes together. So in just a moment I will open this up and review the action figure itself. Here is Batman Blackest Night. And he comes with a couple of accessories aside from the collect-to-build action figure pieces. Here is an action figure stand with a peg for the peg hole in the heels of his feet. And it says DC. So this is useful for action figures that have capes like this. And here is a trading card. Nice picture of the Blackest Night Batman, plus a little biography on the back where it talks about who Batman really is. Bruce Wayne. He saw his parents murdered in front of him, and the reason why he's a space zombie is that he was killed by Darkseid at some point. So it's an interesting story. I haven't read it yet. Let's take a look at the height of this action figure. Just a little more than 7 inches tall, maybe about 18 centimeters tall. So it's a nice height for an action figure. And let's take a closer look at some of the details here. So Blackest Night Batman is some kind of space zombie. We can see his bat logo here, and in the middle is the Black Hand or Black Lantern logo, kind of like Green Lantern, except Black Lanterns are resurrected dead people, so kind of a space zombie. So here looks like kind of a zombified look with an open mouth, which I think gets a little annoying after a while. I'd like to see a closed mouth sometimes, or just a neutral facial expression. But fortunately, it's a small part of the action figure. Normally I don't care for zombies, but this one's tolerable because it's such a small part and easy to not pay attention to. But it is nicely sculpted. It's not too gross, so that's good. And has some extra pieces for a plastic cape. This is a pliable plastic. Although it looks like it's meant to go off to the side just a little bit, like the wind is blowing his cape just a little bit. It's a lot of sculpted detail on the cape. So kind of impressive work here. And then we have some gray, some blacks. So a lot of sculpting detail on the body here. Not a whole lot of paint, just some straps here. There's some texture to the body here, so nice texturing on the gray parts, and the black parts are just a little bit smoother. And then the gloves have some spikes, so lots of nice sculpted details here. I like that. Some clawed fingers and some grasping hands or clawing hands. And same thing with the boots. He has some spikes here, so it looks cool. And different texture for the boots, so different texturing for different parts of the outfit, so that's pretty good. Here's some boots and some treads on the bottoms of the boots and some peg holes in the heels. The texturing work continues on the back, but it looks like there's even less painting back here, which is alright. It's usually covered by this cape. Now this cape I don't think is removable. I'm not going to try. I'm happy that for the most part I can get this action figure balanced. And he looks like he's fairly straight, although I have to lean him forward just a little bit because of the cape. That's why the action figure stand might be useful sometimes to get a few different poses. So just plug that into the heel. Maybe I can make him stand up a little straighter. Yes, see, the action figure stand does help, so I do like the inclusion of the action figure stand. Now let's take a look at the articulation. So with the head, we can move up quite a bit, move down quite a bit, turn side to side. There's some head tilting, a lot of head tilting. Wow, a lot of movement on the head there. And with the shoulders, it looks like we do have butterfly joints. Now it seems to be pretty loose, but it doesn't move very much. There's not a very wide range of motion. We can go out. Now it is hindered by the cape here, but we can get the arms out that far. We can go around, but it's limited by the cape. And it also feels just a little bit loose that way. We have bicep cuts. On both sides, so that works. Although sometimes the muscle here will rub against the body, and thus we move the arms out a bit more. There's some ratcheting in the shoulder joints there. We have double jointed elbows. Very good. You can actually put his finger in his mouth. So that's impressive. Or his thumb. So these joints are pretty good, and they are a bit ratcheted. We have wrist joints, the hinge. Just a bit tight, but it will hinge. Okay, this one works pretty well. This one seems to be a bit stiff. Now I'm not going to force it, but that one should work. We have a diaphragm cut where we can crunch forward just a tiny bit, bend back a bit more, go side to side. Pretty nice. Now there's no waist twist, no other joints in the body there. The hips, we can do some impressive splits. There's a ratcheted joint in each hip. We can kick forward. Not very much. And kick back. Pretty good. Now it seems like this part here, the crotch piece or the underwear piece here, is a softer, more pliable plastic, so it will bend when we try to move the legs around. So it's an interesting design. Usually it's a hard plastic, but McFarlane Toys seems to have a different design scheme here. Now there's no upper thigh cut. We do have double jointed knees. So those are working pretty nicely. Let's get this straightened out. There we go. There's no boot cut in the shins here. The ankles move down a little bit. And they move up a little bit. And we do have some ankle pivots. So it's pretty nice. So it's a little bit different than the Marvel Legends action figures. I'm used to waist cuts and upper thigh cuts, but still seems to look pretty nice. The joints are all working pretty well for me. Now I just have to get it balanced. See, the cape is nicely sculpted and it's a pliable plastic, but it still adds some weight to it, so it makes it a little bit harder to make it stand, but I can still do it. There we go. So I think it's a nice looking action figure, and the joints have worked out so well. So far. Here is Batman Blackest Night next to a pair of 4-inch action figures. On the left is a 4-inch Fortnite action figure Jonesy by Jazzwares, and on the right is a 4-inch action figure from an Animal Planet set. And this would be an especially scary Batman action figure. A giant Batman that's a zombie with a magical black power ring would be especially scary. Here is Batman Blackest Night next to a pair of 6-inch action figures. On the left is the Marvel Legends Mr. Fantastic, and on the right is the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin White Ranger. Those are both made by Hasbro. Here is Batman Blackest Night with a Fortnite Legendary Series Havoc action figure by Jazzwares. On the left, that's 6 inches, and on the right is Masters of the Universe Masterverse He-Man, 7 inches by Mattel. So it looks like He-Man is slightly beefier than Batman, and they seem to scale together pretty nicely there. The HammerTron Sledgehammer rating is okay. I'd like to put it a little bit higher, but the cape is kind of getting in the way, and it would make it hard to pose it on the Sledgehammer. But this is the first McFarlane Toys action figure I have reviewed, and so far I'm having a pretty good time with this action figure. All of the joints are working very nicely for me. Some of them are a bit loose, and I'm worried about how loose they will become over time, but the action figure itself looks nice, and the joints are working properly right out of the package, so I'm really happy about that. I'm having a good first impression of McFarlane Toys action figures here. And this is an interesting looking Batman. Part of what lowers the rating is that I'm not familiar with this particular version, although it looks like an interesting storyline. I just haven't read that story in the comic books yet, even though it's Probably been more than 10 years since it was published. But all in all, it's a pretty nice action figure, so it probably should be more than just okay. But so far it's just okay. We'll see if the other McFarlane Toys action figures do just as well as this one. Thank you for watching my review video. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my future reviews. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.